The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last.
Hey guys, Wrestling Mayhem Show. This is another week where I am on the road, this time for work, definitely someplace warmer than here in Pittsburgh, probably most likely. It is November. Anyways, no, we are throwing back to 2010, baby. This is June 22nd, 2010 is when this interview is marked. This is a double interview here. I was very excited. This is, so for context, we are in... leading into FNW, who I never attended a show in this time period, by the way, for some reason. Like, I helped promote this thing and for some reason could not make it. I had some other prior engagement. Maybe I worked with another wrestling company at the time. Who knows? Can I go back that far on a Google Calendar? I don't know. But Butterbean, known for Brawl for All, you know, we love talking Bart Gunn on the Mayhem Manias, and this is part of the reason why. But we got a chance
Didn't
to talk.
Lunchbox hate Bart Gunn?
I don't know. Maybe he did at the time. I mean, he kind of brought him up in.
He ate meat.
Yeah,
That's
Lunchbox
right.
is a part of this. Mad Mike is a part of this. I think somebody else was on the line too, if I'm not mistaken. But Riz was
That was me. I wasn't there. I don't think I was there for the interview.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the next person up because that was my first time on the show.
Was this your debut?
This was my debut.
It'd be interesting to hear all this stuff, and the visual presentation is interesting. Like shitty green sheet in the background in my basement. Before we started bringing a lot of people in studio there, at least for a period. Anyways, we'll get to but also the second on this is Sterling James Keenan, now known as Corey Graves, was a part of this. This is just like with Effie last week, this is one of the interviews that I bring up a lot when we're talking about people that are really great. You know, Corey Graves was one of the guys. SJK was one of the first guys to say, hey, I want to be on the show. And we had him like 2 or 3 times, and we always had great conversations with them. And I forgot how fun those conversations were until I listened to this back, man. You know, and it's really funny, some of the concepts he's going to get into, knowing where he ends up, that we have on this. So we're going to talk about Butterbean. We're going to talk about Brawl for All. We're going to talk about local wrestling. And we're going to talk about Bryan Danielson came up in this randomly because this is a really important week of when that went down with somebody in a necktie. So
it's going to be some spanking good times.
That's right. Go listen to the interview. Don't judge how we looked back then. And we'll be back with some commentary right after we're done with the interviews.
Heavyweight boxer, MMA fighter. What don't you do, Butterbean?
You know, I mean, I've done it all. I've done from MMA, boxing. Heck, even one time I've done a sumo wrestling in Japan.
Oh, jeez.
I do it all. You name it, I'll do it. I don't care.
Awesome. Well, of course, we know you from wrestling, but you actually started off in boxing, a little bit of everything. So let's go back a little bit real quick, just get a little background on you for some of our listeners. You were a heavyweight boxer, and you got involved with the WWE. Where a lot of us...
Oh, it was actually WWF.
WWF, yes, they did not get the F out yet. So tell us...
Exactly. I actually done a couple shows against, with Mark Merrill.
Mm-hmm.
Had to spank him around and teach him how to treat Sable correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still had a couple engagements up to my contract.
Mm-hmm.
And Bart Gunn had pissed off Vince. Some of the ball fall, he was supposed to take a dive. He didn't want to take a dive, and he ended up knocking everybody out. And so they called in the big guns, and me, myself, and I, and had to give him a good spanking.
Awesome. Now, Bart Gunn went off to shoot fighting in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he has done. I mean, our fight at WrestleMania was a shoot fight. A lot of people don't know that, but it was an actual, go for it all, winner wins.
Mm-hmm.
and Bart come out really badly. He has got thought straight sense.
So that knock to the head was a little bit of inspiration for him to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like beating up on wrestlers. I beat up another wrestler fought in the first Pride. Sean O'Hare fought in a Pride show in Vegas. Is the first one that Pride covered the U.S. from Japan, and fought him on there. I had to spank him pretty good on that too.
Yeah, we did get a question of somebody wanted us to ask about that. Of course, Sean O'Hare, another wrestler, we may remember from WCW WWE days for our fans. But was that your first submission win with Sean?
Well, no, I actually knocked Sean out, but no, I've had a lot of submissions. I mean, in the MMA world, I'm like 75 or 80% submissions. The guys don't want to stand there and punch, so they get stupid and take me down. And guess what? Butterbean knows a little jiu-jitsu.
Now, yeah.
On the last Pride show, I submitted a bazillion purple belt, and I become the true honorary jiu-jitsu being.
Awesome. Now, what made you get into MMA after your boxing career?
Well, I have a friend of mine that fights mixed martial arts, Mark Coleman. A lot of people in the world, in the MMA world knows who he is. And I told him, I might want to try that one day, K1 or MMA or something. Next thing I know, I got 25 promoters from all over the world calling me. Next thing I know, a month later, I'm in Japan doing a kickboxing event against Fujimoto. His name is Fujimoto. Tough kid. And I'm knocking him out pretty quick after he started kicking me. And I fell in love with the sport. And then I went from the kickboxing. In Japan, it's like kickboxing on steroids compared to here. Went from that to mixed martial arts and just went from there and started loving it.
Now from I watched a little bit of UFC. I watched a little bit of the K1 on HDNet and everything. And I know like historically a lot of times the wrestlers are usually the ones that have the upper hands. And of course you come from a boxer background, but of course you also know jiu-jitsu too. But I imagine you were strictly boxer, originally. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am.
Yeah, the first time I went over there, I mean, I started getting kicked, and I'm like, whoa, this shit hurts. So I just charged him and knocked him out.
Yeah.
I ended up fighting a guy named Mike Bernardo, which is actually a boxer, but also a great kickboxer. Bernardo leg kicked me so bad I didn't walk right for about a month and a half. I could not walk. I mean, so after that, I learned more of the defense on it and the jiu-jitsu end.
Awesome. So the wrestlers don't give you any more trouble anymore?
No, I mean, they're more, after submitting Zulu on the last Pride show, they a lot of them realize they don't want to take me down because there's 400 pounds that they got to deal with once they get me down.
Awesome. So, I believe, Mad Mike, did you have a question here for our guest?
Oh, yeah. I was just curious. Who is it more fun to knock out? Bart Gunn or Johnny Knoxville?
I had a lot of fun probably knocking out Bart because he was a much more equivalent type opponent. Johnny Knoxville would be like beating up a grandmother at a grocery store.
That's fantastic. Speaking a little bit about a lot of the wrestlers that come over, what do you think about there's a lot of rumors, of course, about guys like Bobby Lashley, of course, has been made a start in MMA. There's been talk about Batista, Kurt Angle, of course, Pittsburgh's own Kurt Angle, since you're going to be in the area here. What do you think about guys like that? All declaring to head on over to MMA as a person that's made a crossover from another sport yourself.
Well, Ken Shamrock done it. I mean, it's a great crossover. But why just participate in one sport? There's so many different sports out there. I've done the wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, K1, sumo. I've hit 5 of them so far. I don't think basketball is going to work too well for me. But I'm sure there's something else I can get in there too.
I don't know. Big Show used to be a basketball player, right? maybe we can have a one-on-one between you and Big Show sometime.
Maybe so. Paul's pretty tall though.
Yeah. He's got the dunk on you, unfortunately. So, excellent. So
I played against Shaq one time. I didn't do too well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave basketball to somebody else.
Awesome. Now, I was, looking up all your accolades. I understand that you had one more that DJ Lunchbox had shared with me before we had you on here.
Yeah, I was curious. I mean, you're clearly a man of many talents: boxing, kickboxing, MMA. But I found out that you are also a restaurateur.
Well, I had a restaurant for a long time. I've closed it down. I got tired dealing with people. I travel so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I closed my restaurant down because food has to be just right. And when you're not got the whip on the employees, they don't want to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just closed it down, and now I cook for myself and friends, and that's about it.
I see. We got some outdated information now. But you did own Mr. Bean Barbecue.
Yeah, I sure did.
Excellent. Well, let's talk about the show this weekend. Of course, right here in Pittsburgh, you're going to be appearing for Far North Wrestling in Cheswick, PA, at the Chess Arena, taking on another wrestler that I'm sure you're going to take great joy in knocking out. We hope Sterling James Keenan.
Yeah, he runs his mouth a lot. I did an interview with him not long ago,
mm-hmm.
and he wouldn't shut up. He runs his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand some of these guys. They don't realize it just takes one little wrong sound, and I might forget what sport I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Or I might intentionally forget what sport I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So how did you get involved with the Far North Wrestling organization for this event?
Well, I pick who I wrestle for. Really, I won't wrestle just for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they contacted me, and we talked back and forth for a while. I got a lot of friends out there that wrestle and do other stuff, and I got really high good regards for them. So we worked the deal out, and here I am.
Excellent. Have you been to Pittsburgh before?
I have, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We recommend the Permane Brothers if you want a good sandwich if you're around.
Hey, I'm good for food anywhere. You let me know. We'll go.
Excellent. Now, Sterling James Keenan.
Knocking people out and good food. I mean, you know what? What better can there be?
Excellent. Now, SJK's looks like he's taken on the moniker of the International Badass lately. Are you going to be attempting to take that away since you're very well traveled yourself?
You know what? Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Fantastic.
I really do. You know what? I'm so. Some of the guys try to do some of the all messed up stuff, and why not just hit them and knock them out? It makes it so much easier. And the people love it.
Awesome. Well, we are actually scheduled to talk to SJK following talking to you. Do you have any direct words for him, going into this Friday?
No, don't scare him. I hate guys that are scared. They run. I hate when they run. I don't want them afraid of me. I love it when I'm 400 pounds. I don't want to have to chase them down before I beat them brutally.
Okay, do you want us to lull him into a false sense of security and maybe tell him that you might be a little worried about this weekend so you can just knock him out?
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That's genius.
Okay.
That is genius.
We'll work that for you. We'll work for that, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Excellent. So what else is coming up? Whoa. What else is coming up in the future for Butterbean then?
Well, I have a couple fights coming up. I got a fight in Poland I'm going to be doing pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Not against the world's strongest man. He's the 5-time world's strongest man. I'm going to fight him in Poland.
Excellent.
So it should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Of course, everybody, if you want to check out information on this, FNWWrestling.net to get your tickets there. And I do understand for those...
One thing I do other than a lot of other fighters, a lot of other wrestlers,
mm-hmm.
I always make sure I have time for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
The people that come to fight, everyone's going to get an opportunity to meet me, shake my hand, take pictures, etc., etc. and then I'm going to knock somebody out, body slam them. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Awesome.
And I will take suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's got an idea of what they want me to do, throw it at me. Who knows? I might try it.
I have a suggestion, Butterbean. I would like to see you get in the octagon with Brock Lesnar.
I would love to fight Brock. I would love to fight Brock.
Are you?
Vince almost put something together back when he was wrestling, but it never did come around.
Does that knife tattoo piss you off as much as it does us?
Yeah, I'm not a big tattoo kind of guy anyhow, so but yeah, I'd love to fight Brock. Would love to.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Butterbean. Don't want to take much more of your time here, but check them out, FMWWrestling.net, for information on the show. And I understand there will be DVDs available after the show for you guys not in the area. You'll have an opportunity to see what transpires this Friday night with Butterbean and SJK. So,
hey, beautiful. Don't miss it. I'll see y'all this weekend.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. What's up, guys? Again, thanks for Butterbean for joining us here on the Mayhem Show. But on the line now is the guy he's going to face this Friday at FNW in Cheswick, PA. Friend of the show. He was on here last in October, way back on episode 188. Sterling James Keenan, the international badass. How you doing tonight?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Let me make a quick correction on your intro. I appreciate the fantastic intro, but I'm not only the guy that will face Butterbean, I'm the guy that's going to beat Butterbean.
Awesome. Now, so you're in the international badass now. Is that straight from your? I know you just got off some international tours last we talked to you.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know where that name actually came from. I think I probably referred to myself as such once or twice, just kind of on the fly in a promo or something, and someone picked up on it and kind of ran with it. So it's kind of stuck. So that's really what as deep as the story behind that is. Excellent.
Now, I think last we were talking to you, you guys were just starting to do shows out there in Cheswick, PA, which I think was a new area for you. How have those been going? I know I've been hearing from some friends. There've been some great shows out there, but how's it been going? How have been the crowds out there?
They've been awesome. The crowds have been steady. Arguably the biggest we've drawn in quite some time. I mean, I don't know exact numbers, but they've been solid. Some of the better independent wrestling crowds I wrestled in front of, and that goes beyond Pittsburgh. I mean, they've been pretty nice. And guys from the Chess Arena are awesome. They really work just as hard as we do as far as setting up with the production. And this isn't your typical independent show where, it's a high school gymnasium and there's a black curtain just hanging and that's where guys come out. We have a full-blown stage entrance and professional light system. The guys from the Chess Arena actually hook us up with the same lighting system that they use when rock bands come in. So we have the same setup and all the tricks and gadgets that, Kid Switch Engage or whatever band comes in actually has at their disposal. So it's pretty cool.
How was it working in the same venue that Snoop Dogg's recently performed?
Fantastic. That's awesome. Anytime you get to follow in the footsteps of someone like Snoop Dogg, it's something to get excited about. Plus, like I just actually went to Chess Arena a few weeks ago and saw Kill Switch Engage. So that was kind of cool too, that they performed on the same stage that we use as our entranceway. So that was a little bit of a thrill. I'm a big fan of those guys.
Awesome. And of course, I know I've been out there for the TNA show. It's a pretty big venue. So it really nice size for it.
I was actually there for the TNA show as well. And they obviously packed it, to the gills. They were I want to say there was somewhere around 900 people there, I think was the final number. Which, that's not the biggest venue in the world, but 900 people were packed in there pretty tight. But I think in my own personal opinion, it's about the best wrestling venue probably in the tri-state area that I've been to. As far as, it's comfortable, it's big enough, and plus, like I said, we have all the gadgets and gizmos and lights and sirens and all the little toys to help enhance the show experience.
Excellent. Before we get to the big thing that we brought you on for, I do want to ask, because I discovered that you are going to be in AIW this Sunday as well, in a four-way match with, if I got this right, Facade, Mercer, and Gargano, two friends of the show in there. And the winner, I believe, gets the AIW title, which is vacant, and gets to take a crack at Bryan Danielson that same night. Is that right?
Oh, see, I didn't know the Bryan Danielson thing was involved. I'd seen the updates. This is how independent wrestling. I find out more stuff when I get there beyond.
I only know.
I knew it's for the I knew it's for the IW title. But that's always pretty exciting. I honestly don't remember her actually losing that title. I know I had the absolute title for a long time. I don't think I ever lost it for some reason or another. I'm not the champion anymore. I don't think I ever lost it, so I'll get a chance to win that back. But the guy to look out for on the Indies is Tommy Mercer. He's actually coming in for the Warrior show. If you haven't seen this guy, he's an absolute monster. He's about 6'6", 6'7", just jacked to the gills. Just an awesome talent. I'm making the call right now. I think it'll be a very short period of time between him appearing on the Indies and WWE signing him up.
You say, is this the gentleman that goes by
Nice.
No Mercy, Tommy Mercer?
Yeah, No Mercy, Tommy Mercer. The dude's awesome, man. He's a cool guy, but in the ring he gets it done too. But I'm saying the guy's just, as far as the independents go, you don't see guys that look like him very often. They're once in a blue moon, someone that big and agile comes along, and he's definitely something special. But that said, I'm still going to beat him.
Well, going with that, since you're so sure you're going to beat him, and the opportunity to take on Danielson, if I have this straight. So what do you think of the situation going on there? I don't know how much. Again, you've been following with it, that news with his firing in WWE.
Yeah. I'm actually very out of the loop as far as WWE goes. I keep in touch with Punk, and we very rarely talk wrestling. It's generally we talk about baseball or other stupid things. So I actually just so happened to be, I was getting into bed actually, that's how much of a party animal I was. I was getting into bed at like 10:50 a few weeks ago, and I was flipping through the channels, and the NXT beatdown came in. And I didn't know, many of the guys other than Danielson and Tyrone Evans. And I thought, I just kept it on there. I was watching, kind of interesting, something different. And then I saw Brian choking out Justin Roberts with his tie. And I actually laughed about it. I was like, wow, that's kind of a cool shot. And then the next morning I got up and I heard all this nonsense about them letting him go. And I don't speculate. I've been hearing people say it's a work. It's legit. I don't know what it is, but whatever. I hope it is a work, because Brian works hard, man. He's worked harder than just about anybody I know. And the guy deserves a shot to shine on the national stage. And the little taste that he's gotten, from what I understand, he's done really well. So, I obviously wish success to any of my friends in the business, so I hope it's a work. But if it's not, then I will gladly continue to beat on him on the Indies.
Oh, he did, yeah, he definitely didn't have any trouble ending up on every show I could think of in the next month. So, so all right, and now again, this Friday, you're taking on Butterbean.
I am.
Yes. Now, we talked to him right before talking to you, of course. Now, when we did ask him, we were like, are you concerned? You're stepping into a wrestler's ring, and he sounded a little worried, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah. He was really like.
I did the radio show on 93.7 The Fan with him the other day. We had an interview with John Burton. It was on Sunday afternoon, and he was talking a little bit of smack.
Okay.
He didn't seem too concerned. Truth be told, I was a little concerned because, I don't like getting punched in the face at any point, let alone by a 400-pound man who does it for a living. I think it's going to be fun. I'm actually curious to see, how it works out. Butterbean is no stranger to the wrestling business. And I actually have been delving into the world of MMA a little bit. I started training. I think that's kind of going to be my next venture here in the world of sports. Not anytime in the immediate future, but hopefully by the end of the year, I think I'd like to step into a cage and or ring or whatever it is. But so I've been doing a lot of training in that and kind of unintentionally honing my skills. So it's going to be interesting. You're going to basically see a hybrid. I promise you it will be a lot better than Antonio Inoki and Muhammad Ali. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that match?
So you're saying you're not just going to lay on the mat and kick at his legs until he gets out of the ring?
I'm going to lay on the mat and just wait for him to come and let me put him in guard for jiu-jitsu. That's what it's going to be. But no. But yeah, that was honestly like one of the most boring things I've ever sat through in my life. So I promise you it will be, more exciting than that. But I'm excited. I am, honestly. Butterbean's a celebrity. He's not a wrestler. He's not anything. He's everything. He's a celebrity in that he's a fighter. He's an MMA fighter. He's a boxer. He's been in movies. He's been on TV. And, so, I mean, it's kind of exciting to be able to get in the same ring with him and then show him what it is that I do.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me, kind of along those lines, what do you have that Bart Gunn and Sean O'Hare didn't?
You have to give me more than like 30 seconds to respond to that one because I have to think. Bart Gunn and Sean O'Hare, both like 6'5", 6'6", jack to the heel guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say I know what it is. I have wrestled the Necro Butcher and Madman Pondo in Japan.
Oh
in
yeah,
matches, and I've come out victorious. I have that.
You took a few staples in that match, if I remember.
I've taken staples. I think Pondo stabbed me in the head with a knife of some sort, thumbtacks. You name it. It's been done. So I've got that going for me. And I'm not just, like I said, I'm not just the typical pro wrestler. I'm not, I'm not going to go out there and do only pro wrestling. I'm actually quite capable and well versed in various other forms of combat. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what good anything's going to be against a 400-pound guy. Like, my jiu-jitsu may be strong, but I don't think it's going to really work against a guy the size of Butterbean. But
so it's not going to be like Hogan versus Rocky in Rocky 3, right?
It's not going to be that bad. But that would be more entertaining, would it not? I mean, the roles would be reversed. If Thunder Lips was the boxer and Rocky was the wrestler, that may be how it ends up. There's a small chance he may throw me into like the third or fourth row. I don't know.
So if you paid the money for the gold circle seating, you may end up with a souvenir.
That's right. You may actually be able to take me home in your pocket.
That's right.
Because I will be in pieces.
Excellent. There again, I didn't know you were training MMA. And we asked this of Butterbean a little earlier, what do you think of all these wrestlers like of course, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley have gone over. There's talk about guys like Batista and Pittsburgh's own Kurt Angle going into MMA. What do you think about this kind of flux of people, talking about at least, and seeing about going into MMA in general?
I think it's kind of a natural progression in that, the wrestling business and MMA, as different as they are, and they are very different, they're similar in the mindset. I mean, it's a combat sport. It's macho. It's, I'm tougher than you, even in the pro wrestling world. But, obviously I'm super excited to see what else Brock does now that he's back from being sick. I will be watching him and Carlin on the 3rd. Check that out. Lashley had some pretty good success, but the difference between Lashley and Lesnar and even Angle is those guys were amateur wrestlers. They found their way into the pro wrestling world and they ended up in the world of entertainment after they had their background in that. A guy like Batista was a sports entertainer first, and I'm kind of the same mindset. I wrestled. I mean, I have athletic background. I wrestled up until high school, and I'm not just for the first time in my life competing in anything, but I think it's awesome to see the success that you guys are having, and I think Brock Lesnar is honestly about the best thing to happen to UFC in a long time for marketability purposes. As an MMA fan, I think it's awesome that the company is just growing, like, it seems to be nonstop. You're getting a lot of national exposure, and there's always new TV shows and specials about it, and as for myself personally, it's something I kind of fell into. I had some friends of a friend that train MMA. They actually used to own a gym with Mac Danzig of UFC, and I started just working out with them, just kind of as a workout, just kind of stay in shape. And they actually came to me after one of our training sessions and said, "Hey man, did you ever think about fighting?" And I said, "Honestly, no. It was just I just wanted a new workout, something different. I got a little bored with everything." And they said, "Well, in our opinion, it might be something you should try because we think you'd be really good at it." So that's kind of caused me to step my game up. And seeing as how I'm from Pittsburgh, and now I have a radio show on FM radio, and Kurt Angle's a Pittsburgh guy. I laid down the challenge on the air last Sunday. If Kurt Angle wants to do his MMA thing, give me a few months. We'll do it for charity or something. I want to be Kurt Angle's first legitimate MMA match, and we can do it for Pittsburgh for some charity, maybe Children's Hospital or something killer like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Excellent. So, Well,
right? Every time Kurt Angle's talked about getting into doing MMA, he talks and talks and talks and talks, and then he has a reason to back out. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do striking. He just wants to do grappling. That's fine. He can make the rules, whatever he wants to do. I just want, you know what I mean? Like I said, let's do it for charity. I got nothing I got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. Let's do it. I mean, truth be told, I'm reasonably sure he'd probably beat me. But hey, you know what? It's for fun. Some people run marathons to test themselves. I've decided I want to fight professional athletes. You know, that's going to be my new thing.
Nice. You heard it here second, right here on the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Kurt Angle versus SJK. Let's make this happen.
Right, guys, I'm telling you, let's make it happen. I want your assistance. We can make this totally independent of any, organizational promotion. This isn't about indie wrestling. Like I said, let's do it for charity. I'm not looking to make any money. Let's just have some fun with it. So you guys take the ball and run with it. I'm entrusting it in your hands.
I want to put that out there. If you go to KurtAngleTNA.net is his official website. I know we've tried putting some stuff through there before. There's let's see, they move stuff around here. But go there. There's going to be a contact there. We'll find it. He's got Facebook and Twitter. Flood that. Go to KurtAngleTNA.net. Tell him to face SJK. Tell him about this. Tell him to face SJK. We'll put the mayhem crew out there.
And I just want to clarify. I'm not looking to make my name at his expense or this is no sort of cheap heat thing. I got all the respect in the world for Kurt Angle. He's one of my favorite professional wrestlers. I mean, I respect everything he's ever done. There always seems to be an issue whenever he wants to make that crossover to MMA. And I'm willing to be, I'm willing to totally accommodate him as much as he wants. Whatever he wants to do, as long as it's, fair and balanced. I'm in. Maybe I'll be like the Mulkey brothers of UFC, of MMA. Maybe I'll just get beat up by everybody, but whatever it is, I'm crossing that line.
Just matters that you're there, right?
That's right.
Excellent. All right. Well, of course, what else is coming up for SJK in the future beyond this Friday?
I got once the summertime picks up, I got some more international stuff going back to England again, of course. I actually got an email the other day doing another tour throughout Europe. I'm going to do, I believe it's Germany, Ireland, France, and England again. And obviously always doing new independent companies here and there. My schedule's I'm actually making a point to kind of ease my schedule up a little bit so that I can train MMA. So even though I may not be fighting Kurt Angle, I will be fighting sometime in the, not too distant future. So I want to be able to concentrate on that. And, we'll see where it goes from there. I got this radio show on 93.7 The Fan here in Pittsburgh. And I've been doing that. That's a lot of fun. I get paid pretty well to talk about sports for hours at a time. So that's kind of cool. But, I'm just staying really busy, man. I'm happy. My family's doing awesome. I have no complaints about anything. I just waiting to see what the world holds next for SJK.
Excellent. And you can check out SJK and Butterbean this Friday, June 25th at Chess Arena in Cheswick, PA. Check out the information, FNWWrestling.net. Like we mentioned, it should be on DVD shortly after for all you guys that are in the Pittsburgh area to check it out and see what happened. So
that's right. And if you're not in the Pittsburgh area, it will still be on DVD, so you can order it and we will ship it to you.
Excellent. So go check that out. Thank you very much, Sterling James Keenan, for joining us once again on the Wrestling Mayhem Show. You're always welcome back, sir.
Hey, thank you guys. It's a pleasure hanging out with you guys, and anytime you guys want me back, I'll be glad to join you.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Riz, I know you had a connection issue. You didn't get necessary to listen to that Sterling James Keenan part of the interview, right? So I'll fill you in with some notes on that. But first of all, you did listen to the Butterbean,
I did.
And what was your biggest takeaway from Butterbean being on the show?
Oh, Butterbean, just like this was still very. I don't want to say prime Butterbean, but it was very promotion prime Butterbean. Like this was just him talking for that good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it was so much fun.
It was he sounded like he was having a good time on the show, which is amazing. The stories that he had, like how he was doing WWE work with, or WWF work with the likes of Mark Barrow and Bart Gunn. I try to look up stuff I try to like see if there was anything with Mark Barrow and Butterbean in WWF, but I couldn't find anything. But still, I like just hearing him talk about how he was brought in by Vince to mess up Bart Gunn for messing up his baby, or Vince Russo's baby, or whoever you believe's baby. And I think I mentioned, like, in that little segment, I did mention that in Dark Side of the Ring, they did talk about how there was there was supposed to be a rematch in Japan in the MMA fight with Bart Gunn and Butterbean. I don't think that happened. I don't think that happened. But still, just hearing him talk about how that stuff happened and hearing the history of him with WWF was pretty fun. Like we had Butterbean. You had Butterbean on the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I got like the connection through Sterling and such to make it happen.
Still.
But no. But also like he probably reached out to me about like, hey, can we help promote this? I'm like, yeah, man, I'll promote it, man. So which was really cool. Which is probably how that happened back in the day. So also he mentioned Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Wrestling, which I forgot about. And I just did a quick search. It is actually, if you go to archive.org, the internet database, but archive.org, like it's on there. Like I'm watching an episode right now in my browser. So, and I'll caution, I know they were having some issues because they got hacked recently. So, but you can like download the episodes, it looks like, from it. It's cut off, so I can't tell what channel. Like I'm watching Brian Knobs and a bunch of celebrities that I don't recognize. Frank Stallone popped up, by the way. Frank
Stallone, Nikki Ziering, Dustin Nyman, rest in peace.
Jeez, wow.
Danny Bonaducci.
Yeah. So
Todd Bridges and Dennis Rodman.
So it was like mid late 2000s kind of thing. It looks like Team Nasty and Team Beefcake.
Of course, Beefcake was.
Yeah, it's all Hogan's buddies or whatever, right? So that might be an interesting watch back as well to see who's involved. And there's Butterbean in this shot too. So I'm not going to show because it's on archive. I don't think we're going to get a copyright notice, but but that was like just again stuff I've forgotten about. Man, I can't believe these conversations that we've had back in the day. My favorite phrase that he brought up was jujitsu Breen.
The jiu-jitsu bean was like he was stuttering over it too. Okay,
oh my God,
we're not
so
the only ones
fun.
doing
it. The kid in the background and everything. So and he's just one of those dudes, and I appreciate this. Like I appreciate when there were the superstar shows we would work with, and seeing Roddy Piper say, "Hey, I'm here to make the show as good as possible. Be here, make sure the fans are happy and everything."
Yep.
Right. I love that vibe and everything, and hearing a lot of hearing him like mention things like Pride FC and things like that, that he was involved with, at the time. Going into the Sterling interview, and Riz, I know you didn't for this recording. You should probably go back and listen. Maybe we'll have to record a appendum later or something. But man, there was so much fun talking with Sterling, Corey Graves. He was also talking about how he was getting into MMA at the time. He's like, yeah, I think it's the next thing I'm trying. And he has a radio show on the Fan here in town and all that kind of stuff, right? He's AIW. International Badass was a term given to him. We named the episode International Badasses. This thing. It was really fun to kind of have that conversation. It's a nice time capsule. I love that the website, hey, I want to do an MMA show for charity, Fight with Charity with Kurt Angle, because he hasn't done anything yet. Please go to kurtangletna.net. Go reach out to him, right?
Like somebody got the .com of Kurt Angle TNA.
Like he
And it
couldn't
wasn't
even pay with
great.
it for this DNA money or whatever, or they wouldn't let it go or something. Like that's
Wait,
so
Now you got me curious.
yeah. It's not active now when
It's
I
not
looked at it.
active.
As the
We can buy
.com,
it.
did you see the .com?
Not active.
Go
They
to
are both not active.
let's go to hover.com and see if they're still out there. See if they're available. Maybe can we go buy them and just
Can we buy Kurt Angle?
and redirect them to
TNA.net?
this show? So hold on. So no, and also like the other like this is when Bryan Danielson was let go because of the tie incident. He was fired for like a month of WWE. And ended up in Cleveland for an AIW/Chikara show, which we ended up going to the Chikara show of that day with Eamon, who was visiting from Texas at the time. What a week this was. Maybe that's the reason we didn't go, because we're doing because Eamon was probably in town that weekend, so we didn't have time to go to this other show. Why. And we're like, we'll see you Sunday in Cleveland or something, right? By the way, Kurt Angle TNA.net is available for $19.99 as of this recording, and the .com is also available if you want it.
That is tempting. Sorg, that's tempting.
There you go. Just send it to Riz Plays Games.
Send it to Patreon.
There you go.
Patreon news.
Patreon. That'd be amazing. No Mercy Tommy Mercer is the guy that's going to be signed by WWE. I don't know if the dude had a signing or anything since, but I know he is still involved in the Detroit area. I see him on shows, and I think he's still involved with I think he was recently a JCW champion in the recent years too. So still active, still looks great, by the way, and still doing at least a Midwest loop with things like that. So 93.7 the fan. I think that's still the fan.
Yep, that's still a thing.
Okay, yeah, you're my sports.
It's not B94 anymore.
I love we're talking about the Cheswick Arena where Snoop Dogg and TNA were. I attended a TNA show there. It was like my first ever, I think, house show with watching TNA. And that Cheswick Arena is not there anymore.
Is that the same building that had that one really long promotional consideration paid for by the following show? Okay.
No. That was in that area, and it was at the Toy Con that would become Steel City Con. That was my second show filming. It was 2 days, and they had a tournament, and Shima Zion, Now Walking Wild. It was around the same time. It was like 2008 or 9. But yeah, it's not there anymore, and I drive by where it used to be every week when I go to Thursday Night Fights.
Oh,
yep.
You pour one out every time.
Pour one out, baby. Pour one out. Yeah, and I never got to an FNW show, but recently, through some, I have somehow. I think I have worked for the remnants of FNW, because my understanding is the people behind Pros of Wrestling were part of this, and also the more recent new Enclave Wrestling is now uses the letters FNW. I think there's a classic Pittsburgh wrestling split of some sort with the branding and owners and such. So it's just interesting. All these years later, FNW just came back within recent weeks. As a company brand something here in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I'll learn more as we go here, I guess. But that was kind of a chance encounter in both cases, I think. So really interesting there. Again, this is an amazing time capsule. And again, talking to a proto Corey Graves, if I'm not mistaken, relatively shortly before he did end up getting signed by WWE and turning into the Corey Graves that we now know on our television every week on SmackDown currently. So it was really cool, and he always had good vibes. He was always really great to us here as a young fledgling podcast here all those years ago. So really cool to kind of go back and listen to this. Riz, what did you learn at least from your Butterbean part of this interview?
So I learned that Butterbean, like, not even from just from that interview, and as well as like the history with what has happened with Butterbean over the last years or so. Dude's a fucking fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like
legit.
Like how, I don't know if you've seen his
I've never seen his MMA stuff. I kind of want to now.
Yeah, I kind of want to see his MMA stuff, but did you see his like the DDP yoga one?
No.
Like how he was like in really bad shape, and like now he's actually walking like normal, almost normal, I guess is a better point. Yeah, the Butterbean's comeback is probably one of the best promotions for
Wow.
DDP yoga. Like look how he looks.
That's amazing.
And I think he's trying to come back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where, but I think he had a match lined up, but maybe but still, like,
dude, if you're one of those dudes like that has that kind of weight on you and stuff, man, like that adds up. Like I know that was like the kind of the, you know, the presentation and everything at the time. And you got to use it in the fights at the time, but yeah, you can't do that for that long, man. You know. But
also, Rodzilla beat Mr. Not So Perfect for the CCW Championship.
What?
The Rock. Dennis Rodman beat where is it? Mr. Not So Perfect Todd Bridges to win the CCW Championship.
Of course he did. Of course he did. I learned hey, I learned, like, you listen back to that, you can see why Sterling went somewhere. Like, dude had a good gift for gab. I also learned I've come a long way as an interviewer.
Awesome.
Oh, I was so well. Actually, can you see? You'll see when you go back and try to listen to the Sterling one. My confidence level gets a little better because I've talked to Sterling a few times, right? And I was definitely kind of struggling with the Butterbean one. I'm glad DJ Lunchbox was there to help out with that, as somebody that kind of followed some of that stuff and everything.
It was really nice to hear him laugh.
Oh my god, I miss it.
Just a little chuckle.
Yeah. I mean, man, it was just such a good early vibe, and I miss him being a part of these things. So, you know, he was doing well with his lady over in Ohio. So, you know, it reminds me, I gotta reach out to him, be like, hey, we're just listening to an old interview, and we'll have to tag him when we post this thing. So
yeah,
Riz, thank you so much hanging out and listening to old interviews with me. Maybe we'll do this because we usually take that week off in New Year's. Maybe we'll try to do now. Yeah. If there's an old interview you'd like us to do another kind of analyze on, re-listen to for our off times, holidays and such, please let us know. Hit us up, goodtimes@wrestlingmayhemshow.com, and we'll see what we can do with that. So thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.